one of the city's most notorious gangs.
Critical Thinkers Podcast.
So crack all my life, ever since I was 11 years old. While the other young boy was trying to, in the park, playing football or baseball, I was on the streets getting money.
They label us a gang for coming together for something positive, for a movement to help the people. I mean, I know where I stand. I know I'm not a part of no gang.
We don't have no colors. A lot of my friends, they like to represent their Haitian flag that represent their country.
I like to extend high honors to the ancestors. Those ancestors being the ancestors of the Nile Valley that were responsible for some of the greatest civilizations that the world have ever witnessed. Those civilizations were predicated on the principles of Ma'at, which we define as truth, order, and righteousness.
Well, over here, critical thinkers, the truth don't need no support. God made Haitians, or the Haiti made Zoes. We'd like to welcome y'all to another episode of Critical Thinkers. Y'all know our slogan over here, the truth don't need no support. And y'all know what the OG Kenny K always say, and I'ma stand on it. God made Haitians, but little Haiti made Zoes. What's good, my brother Junk? How was your weekend? What you gotta say to the people before we start this podcast, my brother?
My weekend was great, brother.
Hello.
You know, I just love that slogan, you know what I mean? Because it's authentic. It's from the source, you know what I'm saying? And we always was pioneers in the hood. Like, we changed the game for a lot of different things. And we gonna get into that a little later on how we made a difference in the game. See, that's the thing about these zones or this zone pound stuff they be talking about. You know, we just brought a different flavor, you know what I mean, to the game. But it's your main man, Junky Junk, coming live and direct right here at Critical Thinkers Podcast. I would love for y'all to keep on subscribing, getting them numbers up where they need to be. We ain't too much caught up on the numbers, you know what I'm saying? We just be wanting our people to feel us. We came here to Critical Thinkers Podcast because at one point it was a clown that came into the game thinking that he was gonna have his weight on this internet like we something to play with. And I was like, bruh, Casey, when I first jumped down on this nigga neck, I said, ain't no way in the hell, nigga. I was down 15, 16, even though you did 18. I'm like, shit, I was down 15 and I'm one of the real ones. The fuck is you to be getting prepared for? And I heard, you know, even with the Vlads, you know what I'm saying? I'm so shocked of Vlad with his interviewing, and I thought dudes like Vlad, cause my main man, you know, I respect gangster, cause how he came out on Vlad. Vlad had the right man, and he had a nigga with substance that was connected to the real source, the real hot boy. But what fucked me up is when they came to the real ZP, and he still got the copies right now. He had that clown nigga on his shit, and the nigga was screaming my name. You feel me? I had a few conversations with old Vlad, for the record. You know what I mean? Because, you know, what we say here is really not authentic. But whatever happened, I don't know if these podcasters be on real shit or not. But one thing about my main man, Gangster, shout out to Terrence Gangster Williams. I fucks with him, you know. And we had a little thing set up, but thanks to Jump, I was kind of busy. I couldn't show up. You know, he had done dropped in town for like 2 days, did his thing. You seen him hanging out on the beach and all that. You know, he looking all good on TV now. He done got all this internet money. You feel me? He driving in the big Range Rover. Now, I see him. I be sitting on my dog. I fucks with him. But however, that little Vlad shit, it didn't go right. But anyway, what I'm saying, though, is these dudes be saying stuff and don't know what be going on. So we gonna get into that. It's your main man, Junky Junk, little Haiti soldier, back with another episode of Critical Thinkers Podcast. Now, Kenny K, I've been watching in the comments. You feel me? They loving what you bring into Critical Thinkers Podcast. That's why we be trying to tell them, like, this thing happened by force, not by choice. It just naturally happened, right? You know what I'm saying? God put us right here, two of the real ones, right here on Critical Thinkers Podcast, bringing that thing up from the dirt, you know what I'm saying? Shaping and molding that thing, and we building, you know, the brand, you know what I'm saying? Because we are the brand, right? And a lot of people weren't too happy about us doing this. But guess what? It wasn't our choice. Like we say, it happened by force. Me and the OG Kenny K represent Little Haiti to the fullest. Right here at Critical Thinkers Podcast. This is the best they gonna get it right now. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to all my niggas in the Bahamas, all my niggas in Haiti. Listen, man, it's going down right here. Man, look, it's even crazier down here, man. You know, this ice thing is getting kind of crazy. You know, we got to give a little Haiti news. Y'all can see I got the Sac Passe Haiti hat on today. So Junk is on this IET shit for real. Now, I like Trump, right? I like Trump. And I know a lot of Haitians ain't going to like that. They said, how the hell Junk going to like Trump and he deporting all them Haitians and you standing on this old shit? No, it ain't that. I like Trump in a way because when I was engaging in the business, when I first got out, I was on the business shit, you know, Trump gave money to me as a Haitian, you know, to establish myself as an entrepreneur and to make better ways coming out of prison, you know what I'm saying, and rehabilitating myself. See, I rehabilitated myself. I ain't let prison rehabilitate me. Because listen, one thing about it, they ain't gonna force it on you. If you get in trouble, right, and this goes out to the YNs too, if you're out here and you bout that life, make sure you prepare a fat bankroll, right? All this yamming going on or whatever. However y'all getting this bread, if you're getting that bread, you better put a nice stash away. And I ain't talking about for no lawyer theft. I'm talking about going on a long ride and trying to live like a king in prison because you got some money to spend with that time they're going to give you. Because that's all you're going to have left. A lawyer can't do too much for you. You feel what I'm saying? When you get in to some problem, riding around with that big old switch, and you're doing this and you're doing that, you're playing games, risking your life out here, and I'm telling you, when you get in them dismal crips, when you behind them bar doors, and you looking at these bad bras, these guards telling you, lie down, or you see these young niggas, you gonna start turning into an OG in there, and the young niggas gonna be telling you, go to your cell, because they the COs and shit, they the lieutenants and captains, and you gonna be looking stupid, because you was a YN out here acting a donkey. And you ain't want to listen to the OG Kenny K and Junky Junk. When we told y'all we been there, we done that. Been there, done that, and guess what? We survived the storm. Listen, bro, they just had a pandemic. I was fresh out. Kenny Cat was like, what the hell, the world coming to an end? They talk about a pandemic, you can't come out. We can't be but 6 feet away from each other. I was tripping. I'm fresh out there, John, I'm tripping. But guess what? I was getting money on because of old Trump. So like I was saying, I only like Trump because his business minded, you know what I'm saying, point of view. But it's crazy with this ICE thing and how that's going on, man. You know, a lot of these Zoes came down here, they good workers. You know, and them Zoes, they love to work hard. You feel me?
The Mexicans too.
Yeah, but see, it's a thing going on right now, Kenny K, and I'm just going to get a little political, not too political, I'm just going to get a little political. Because I like to listen to Umar Johnson when he speak. You know, certain individuals I'm going to give, you know what I'm saying, ear to, especially when it's on my ancient forefathers and mothers. That's why I always hit that, you know what I'm saying, I like to shout out to the ancestors, those ancestors being the ancestors of the Nile Valley that were responsible for some of the greatest civilizations that the world have ever witnessed. Those civilizations were predicated on the principles of Ma'at, which we define as truth, order, and righteousness in the Kemetic way of life. See, Haitians are automatically tied into ancient Kemet, which is ancient Africa, where all roots lay.
Hold on, Junk, but I was taught by an Israelite that Haitians are the original Jews.
Right. In a context, they are correctly on point, Kenny K. The Haitians, the Africans, the black Africans of ancient Africa are actually the original Jews. Because what's going on, Kenny K, is the Jews is saying, from the Bible, right? It's the Bible text. We're going from political to religious now. The Bible text, when you read the Bible, or if you're of strict dogma to the Bible, or of Christianity, or of that sect, you are basically saying that you accept the things that you hear about the people in the Bible. Now, the people in the Bible are supposed to be the original Jews, right? Mm-hmm. And the Jews were the what? When it comes to spirituality, the chosen people. Okay. They are the ones ones that was promised the land of the milk and honey, Kenny K.
Okay.
Do you remember that?
Yes,
passage in the Bible?
Moses freed the Jews.
Exactly.
Okay, took them out of bondage.
And where they was in bondage, Kenny K, they say in Egypt.
In Egypt.
Hold up now,
Okay.
Kenny K, because we're going to go historical now.
Okay, let's
Now, when you start talking about Egypt, who are you talking about? When we see the Egyptians, when we used to watch Tom and Jerry and stuff, remember that? And the Egyptian people dancing side to side, them people look like they were black people that they were showing. And at one point they told us to don't like nothing from Africa, because Africa was a savage, barbaric place, and it was dark people over there. They lived dark lives. They ate each other. They had bones in their nose. They were ugly people.
Witchcraft.
They were doing black magic, witchcraft, and all that stuff that made you scared of Africa when you heard Africa, right? Well, goddamn, Kenny K. That's why I like listening to brothers like Umar Johnson, because they give you game about how we was trained and taught to hate our own selves and who we are. That's why we're so far off with knowing who we are.
That's why a lot of the black American slaves that was free end up hating other black Caribbean people. They the same people that they was taught from back in the day.
That were different. Only because of the Willie Lynch syndrome. And that's like the most common thing to a lot of black people right here in America. If you just have a little bit of consciousness, a lot of people know about the Willie Lynch letter, which they classify as Willie Lynch as a person, but it was only a letter if you go in your history and see that demonstration, how it was written. It was never a physical person found or was buried named Willie Lynch. Because if Willie Lynch is so common, right, to the people today, everybody know that Willie was lynching. Or you hear these brothers talking like they, you know, man, on their game and they conscious. They be talking about, yeah, the Willie Lynch syndrome. You know, a lot of these people, you know, they just deaf, dumb, and blind. That's why they made the light skin feel more superior than the darker skin. The shorter,
nigga, the house nigga, all that on.
Right, that's the Willie Lynch letter. But a lot of people got a misconception about Willie Lynch being a real person. That's why when you hear the story, it looks as if like it was a dude way up there in South America somewhere, and he had plantation and he had civilized slaves. So he kept his plantation civilized based on his mindset.
So a lot of black people was lost when they heard the name Willie Lynch.
Yes.
And they thought it was a
physical person
and not understand it was a way of thinking.
Right,
Talk
exactly.
to him, Junk.
Because
Talk to him.
at the same token, Willie Lynch is only of a couple of 100 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Because we didn't get out of slavery, but you know, maybe in the 1800s, right? 1863, Emancipation Proclamation. So before 1863, a nigga was a nigga that got hung and, you know what I mean, no rights. So yes, that was the savage, barbaric way of treating slaves. So when the Willie Lynch letter came, it taught the master how to be more humane with having slaves, right? To keep slaves or to keep that stock alive. You feel me? Because they understood that if you keep beating these niggas, one day when the letter came down from whoever them plantation owners in Europe was, they tried to give us a story about it came from way up there some damn where. But whoever them plantation owners was, they was like, listen, you keep hanging the niggas and killing the niggas, you losing stock anyway, because them the niggas you got to work to build your nation. You crazy asses, you killing them in the plantations and shit and in the fields, but one day they gonna uprise and rebel against your ass, and then you're gonna get 10 times worse. What you need to do is use your brain. Divide and conquer the nigga. Use their mind, because the mind controls the body. Yes. So you make one feel better than the other, and you keep them in a little war amongst themselves. Guess what? They won't even understand that you working for free.
And teach them one color is better than the other color.
Sir.
The darker skin color is looked down.
Right. The shorter more inferior than the lighter. The lighter feel more superior than the black one. But the only reason why
more less superior than the long hair.
Right.
Girl.
And the only reason why they had to make the lighter feel better than the darker, because that was them old slave masters that used to
That was their favorite ones. That was their kids.
Right, that was their kids.
That was their family.
And you remember back in them days, them plantation owners ain't supposed to be doing that. A lot of them would have had charges right now. I don't know why none of their kids and offsprings not suffering for the crime that they did way back in them times when they still eating off the fruits of the labor. You know what I'm saying? We ain't never get reparations. That's what the Muslims always talking about in the back of the final call. They always talking about what black people need, and one of them is reparations from all that time to 40 acres and the mule. With all this banking shit going on, they say shit by now, what y'all owe us is probably worth trillions of dollars from way back then. But anyway, I ain't want to get too carried off. We was talking about the Haitians, man, how they getting treated with the ICE thing, and Donald Trump behind signing all that stuff off. You know what I'm saying? He even trying to go after the birthright. If your mom and your daddy was illegally proven to come down here and you born in America, they trying to send your ass back to Haiti too. I'm so glad my mama an American citizen and she didn't come in here legal, and I'm American born. So I ain't got to worry about that. I know Donald Trump probably would have been at my door.
So you saying, John, when ISIS come, you don't run?
I do not run.
Okay.
I'm American born Haitian. We told y'all last time on our videos, this is the real Yank Zo of Zopound. He a Yank Zo. I'm just a Yank Zo. You feel what I'm saying? That's the only difference. But truly, man, a lot of them guys that's just getting sent back over there to Haiti, you know what I'm saying? I know it ain't right, but Donald Trump ain't just picking up on the Haitians. He picking on everything. He was riding in LA about that shit and everything. So whatever the, reason is that, he's trying to save the borders or whatever.
Hold on, John. I don't mean to cut you off. Talking about the rise in LA. You saw your boy Stephen Joe got robbed in LA?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got to talk about that.
Yeah, we going to get Stephen Joe. We got to get Stephen Joe on the podcast. Tell us what went on when he had them YNs from LA.
I talk to Stephen Joe, though, man. I talk to him all the time. And I like what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I call him, he pick up that phone and he's ready to get down. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of people don't know Stephen Joe is little Haiti.
Secret. And you need to reveal the secret about who Stephen Joe
we gonna
really got schooled under, because I'm hearing I know who the man is behind Stephen Joe, but that's for another segment. But what I do like to say is, man, even though these Haitians are getting sent back to Haiti, what I don't agree with is that Haiti can't get Haiti straight right now. We need to tighten up. All them deportees, all the homies that's over there that got American mindset, y'all boys sharp enough to get out there and, man, make that thing happen. Well, we still over here on this side, and if it's legit, you know what I'm saying, we'll help out now. We'll go holler at them folks, get these 501c3s, and we definitely gonna set out and make one of these foundations up for Haiti, to help Haiti, but y'all niggas gotta get it right in Haiti too. So if we do get something back, we be all right. Because what I'm hearing Brother Umar Johnson saying, that's why I was talking about Brother Umar Johnson, Umar Johnson. He was saying, really, they got Haiti in the situation they is, and I agree with it because of the embargo, because of Haiti getting their freedom in 1804. They was cut off from the rest of the superpowers in the world. You got to understand, the Spaniards, the Frenchmen, and the British were some of the biggest militaries back then. They had all the goddamn cargo ships. They controlled import and export all over the seas. They had all the oceans under lock, and back in them times, you didn't have airplanes that much, so a lot of shit went through the water.
John, I don't mean to cut you off, but it's something I need to say to the people that's watching. As y'all can see, when a real official Zopound member talking with such intellectual, that should let you know that there's a buffoon out here that's claiming to start what we started, knowing he don't have the intellectual.
Yeah, he don't even understand.
He can't even think on that level.
Nah.
So I'm glad you speaking to the people so they can see the difference
from
a real official Zopound intellectual nigga that's been a gangster. Right. But you could get down on all levels. You could
I like to have a conversation with Brother Umar Johnson and a lot of these brothers, because I used to study Dr. John Henry Clark, Dr. Joseph Ben Yakinen, guys like that got profound information about who we are as a people. Michael Chancellor, the brothers that's reading out there, that's traveling in the marinas, y'all already know I'm on point. You feel what I'm
woke
saying?
brothers. So
These
one
are
thing
our
you know,
brothers.
you awoke. You
Right.
one of them brothers
of
that's
course,
awoke.
and these are the brothers that came after all our ancestors that fought for our rights as black people. See, it's crazy that the demonstration behind Zopound was about our brothers jumping on us, which is the Yanks. And Yanks is only a terminology that Zoes use for Americans. That's all. Black Americans particularly, even though the Yank concept comes from white Americans.
No. The Yank concept come from the song Yankee Doodle Came to Town.
Right, but a real Yankee, like the baseball team, Yankees. When you look up Yankees for real, it's a real. That's why. See, Joe's ain't just found the word and say Yankees and just gave it. No, Yankees, that same baseball team that's always winning these World Series. Now, peep the sign. Yankees is a true American that stand on what America stands for. If you understand the forefathers of this country, them Yankees. Them Yankees. You feel what I'm saying? So a Yankee's supposed to be a true American. But how Haitians used to look at that is like, damn, these are our brothers, but they acting like Yanks. So that was the reason why they gave the black brothers the Yanks, because they acting like they real American. They don't know that we really they people and we all come from Africa. They don't understand. See, it was Haitians like us that was in it, because it ain't no other ZP. For all the other Zopounds y'all hearing about, it's really no other ZP. You might have a lot of emulators, a lot of fakers saying that they were Zopound, but Zopound stood their ground because in that whole organization, which me and Kester are branches of that organization. Yeah, that's our homies. That's our brothers we grew up with. We all had the same mindset. We understood who we were as a people, and we knew that our own brothers had us fucked up. Because y'all got to remember, we had Americans in the clip.
Not just Haitians, they had little Haiti fucked up.
Little Haiti at the same token.
They left us out a lot of little mentions, honorary mentions growing up.
You know, we ain't going to trip because we going to get ours regardless.
We got ours.
But what I'm saying is, we talking about a time when we was birthed, when we was like, as homies, we was like, we ain't finna let niggas try us, period. We gonna represent this old shit, because guess what? We got souls in our family. We souls. Even the Americans like, Junky Junk, American born soul. Soul mama, soul daddy. Some niggas had soul girlfriends because they stayed in Little Haiti. Sold the fuck out. Eat soul food, soul kids. So this is what people don't understand about the real Zopound, while they're out there like whoremongers just jumping on the bandwagon and using the name as if it don't have no significance. Nah, that thing came from the rooty, for real. Niggas in the hood in Little Haiti, like we said, in 1804, the Haitians were free.
But with no respect.
In 1996, they gave respect
from the almighty Zopound.
From the almighty Zopound. And changed the game. Now, them Zoes who have Haitian background, most of them, but not all of them, but them Zopound niggas did that. And the Zopound niggas confuse people because a lot of people get it mixed up all kind of ways. How we roll. Some niggas talking about we used to just be robbers. You know what I'm saying? Like they know the boys. Yeah, nigga, but when we was robbing, or when we was robbers, we was jits coming up with time. And when shit thickened and the dope game came into play, niggas was robbing for dope. So
you know what, Junk? Let's say that for the next episode. Listen,
my goodness.
I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of Critical Thinkers. We appreciate it. We come right back within 24 hours with a new episode, because it's a lot to talk about. But I appreciate everyone for tuning in to this episode. This was more of a political, awoke episode to let you people on the internet know we could think on all levels.
Yeah, but Kenny K, you know what I just think, you know what I mean? That, you know, the chemistry, sometimes like when I come through, you know, we all colorful and everything. Sometimes the colors kind of play on the psyche too, right? So we kind of like jumped like everywhere right quick and gave them a little inside, a little hook, punch, boom. You know, they didn't even know what was coming, but we got a lot to address.
Yeah,
so that's why we vibing like that. So I feel you on
and what
that.
we're gonna address on the next episode, because this week I know you had a conversation from one of the kingpins from my
man, me and old boss.
Y'all had a conversation.
Yeah, I had a conversation
you know what?
with boss.
We gonna chop it up on the next episode because I know the people want to hear
all
about
right,
that.
All right,
so,
we'll go there.
We gonna tune out to the next episode. So what you gotta say before we tune out?
Well, like I say, and I always say, little Haiti made me and mama raised me. So 2 times for little Haiti baby first. It's your main man, Junky Junk. And y'all know I always leave how I come. Little Haiti soldier.